Hi ma'am, good day. My name is Jenny Hel Arreglado Balansag.
Hi ma'am, I'm Rosemary Helbuena.
Hello, ma'am. I am Evelyn Espira.
Hi ma'am, good day. I'm Roan Ofag.
You're a student of the BSIT 4B department. So this video, our group, which is the group 2, present our research study which is entitled Mobile Event Calendar Application System. So I will be the one to report the abstract. I will tell you more what is the importance and what are the flows of our research. And the chapter 1 reported by Miss Rosemary Galbuena, and the chapter 2 will be reported Miss Evelyn Gokong Espiga, and the last but not the least, the chapter 3 will be reported by Miss Ruan Ofaga. So I know you all guys are excited to know our research study, so without further ado, just keep on watching. Again, our study is entitled Mobile Event Calendar Application System with push notification is intended for Cebu Technological University at Banbantayan campus. This system acts as a medium to update the students, faculty, and staff of the institution about the schedule of the school events. Our primary object of this research was to improve the activities in school. We give an easy way to let the students to keep updated of what are upcoming events in school, especially to the BSIT department. The academic calendar of Cebu Technological University at Banbantayan campus create the academic calendar as a part of planning phase of the institution for the academic school year. Academic calendar, we believe that this serves as an information source and planning documents for us as a student, staff, faculty, and every department. Since the academic calendar are just being posted in the bulletin boards, some students did not notice the posted schedule, or sometimes we forget the dates of the specific events, so that does result in insufficient preparation or to miss the events. Well, the proponent believes of the developing a mobile events calendar application system can remind only the students of the BSIT department of Cebu Technological University can actually solve the problem.
Our study is all about mobile event calendar application. So this application helps the student or all the BSIT department to keep updated of the said event in school, since we're now in high technology 1. The idea for developing an event application still remains the same, and through this app it will be easily for us to keep updated of what are upcoming events in school. The initial event app contains a different list of features that are enough to help attendees out with the basics of the event, such as agenda, schedule, speakers, etc. Event app has now become an event tech tool meant not only to communicate the event to attendees but also a platform to engage them, maximizing their convenience while gaining valuable real-time feedback. A mobile event app is a piece of software downloaded from an app store and installed on a mobile device such as smartphone, tablet, or pwede sa smartwatch, used within the context of a physical event with the intention of providing up-to-date information, enabling interaction, and increasing engagement for all stakeholders involved. An event app in the early days was indeed a digital version of the event's agenda. Today, it's so much more. It's an essential tool for anyone attending your event. Background of the study. This serious issue really catches our attention. New technologies such as mobile smartphones have the potential to help the students to keep updated of what are the events in school. So our group becomes curious about it. For the reason nga nung nikandak may ani nga study tungod ganahan mi nga mutabang sa among co-student o BSIT department para always sila updated unsay mga events sa school. So, have you ever tried observe sometimes the memo of the school delayed to distribute in every department? So that's the reason some students did not notice the activity of the school on time. Since we are now in a new generation, it's easy for us using this. Therefore, the BSIT college students from CTU, the Bantayan campus might need user-friendly, flexible, and interactive digital calendars that provides them with active reminders about their everyday activities. Our group decided to study the mobile event calendar application system intended at CTU Dan Bantayan's campus. We would like to address our study to the student of BSIT department, especially to those who are concerned about it. Research covers the fundamentals of case study, research, and analysis. It focuses on mobile event calendar. The mobile event calendar is an app that will help us to plot the datas and the upcoming events in our daily life. So, it also includes researchers' objective and methodology. So, the purpose of this app is notify you when it is the day of the event or the day is near to come and you still have the time to ready to set up everything. So like sa Facebook is mo remind sa ato if na birthday ang isa ka tao is naa siya mo-notif sa ato nga kanang adlaw or time is naay tay event nga mahitabo. Beneficiary of this study is the coordinator of the events and also us, the attender or audience, because we can set the day free already before the day comes, but still it matter the most on the coordinator and designer because they can plot the work that need to be done before the day of the event. So, ang main objective ani nga study is makatabang sa mga tao na makalimtan na lang ang ilang mga important nga buhaton or ila kadtuon tungod sa ila ka busy or na stress na sila. So maunang usahay is makalimtan na lang nila. So mao ni siya ang easiest way para dali ra nato mahibaw-an if naabatay umaabot nga event. Finally, it may be concluded that in our study, we can help the people to set all things right and be ready. Objectives of the study. The main objective of our study is to design and develop mobile event calendar application to help the student, faculty, and staff for keep about schedule for the events in a more efficient way. Help the student of the BSIT notified through this app, keep updated all BSIT department to the upcoming said event, so easy to use and less hassle. The last is mobile event calendar application via push notification. This study focuses on the management to the school activities of the college students in Aguho, the Bantayan, Cebu. The data collection will be conducted to the students of BSIT department only. 100 students in College Aguho, the Bantayan, Cebu, school year 2020 and 21, who will represent the said study. The study will not cover other problems that are considered as one of the announcements. Each of the respondents is given the same questionnaires to answers. The result of the study will applicable only the students who are belong to the BSIT department and will not be used by the other departments who do not belong to the BSIT department. The main source of data will be questionnaire, which is prepared by the researcher. This is our last topic on chapter 1, the significance of the study. The study is ended timely and significant. It is considered beneficial to the following: the school. It would enhance and develop system in making schedules, faculty, and staff. The school personnel. It is necessary that school personnel must be synchronized to the intranet program of event calendar for them to be reminded about the schedule. Administrator to disseminate information about schedule or the events in a more efficient way. Faculty, this would benefit them to know what the event posted and the mobile application and to remind them. Students, the students will also benefit from the study by receiving fast about school event and make easier to manage. Having a well-organized would never be delayed and would prevent conflicts in the schedule. Future researcher, this would help the future researchers to have an additional knowledge and idea when they conduct studies and make research similar with study. That's all for chapter 1, Mom. Thank you for listening.
Prospective respondents, where they will be able to evaluate or propose a system according to their opinions. So the questionnaire was composed of the 10 questions that were based on what they've experienced during the event in their university. So wherein they will be able to rate our proposed system from 1 being least important if this system will be implemented. As shown in the table 1 for the question 1, 68.3% agreed that our event calendar is an online application, and 31.7% are not. For our table 2 is for our question 2, so 68.3% which is agreed that our event calendar application is an offline, and only 31.7% that is not. So for our table 3, for our question 3, so there is 94.9% of our respondents who is agreed that our application that can help them, and only 5.1% who are not. So for our table 4, for the question number 4, so there are 93.3% respondents believe that our application can have the changes, and then 6.7% only who are not. And so for the table number 5, for our question number 5, so there are 86.7% which says the application is easier for them, and this is for less hassle for them, and only 13.3% believe that are not. So for our table 6 is for our question number 6, so there are 96.7% that people agree that our application helps for them to keep the updated visit event in our school, and only 93.3% only are not agreed. So for our table 7 is for our question 7, so there are 85% who is agreed that if they're given a chance, they will be going to download our applications, and only 15% are not agreed for this. And for our table 8, for our question 8, so out of 100%, it's 81.7% who is agreed that our mobile application can improve their experience of attending this events, and then only 18.3% who are not. And for our table 9 is for our question 9, so there is 90% if our students will be updated to the school events is better than surprising, and so 10% only who is not agreed about it. So for our table number 10 is for question number 10, so there are 88.3% who is experience not attending on the school events, and only 11.7% who are not. So that is all about my report about the chapter 2, and the chapter 3 is to be presented by another members of this group. So thank you, ma'am. So hello, ma'am, once again, good morning. So I am Evelyn G. Espiga, and I am the one who is tasked to report about our chapter 2. So our chapter 2 covers the presentation, analysis, and the interpretation of our data. So, in this chapter, we presented, analyzed, and interpreted all of our data that is gathered in this study. So, our presentation was done through the use of tables, and the analysis and the interpretation of our data is done through tabular presentations. So, for the first table 1, so it shows the demographic profile of our participants. So our participants in here is overall 60 respondents. This is from the year level of our BSIT department only. So the listed here is our 60 respondents. So the table shows the demographic profile of our participants, so which is consisted with their names, addresses, gender, age, and also the section and year. And so for the table 2 presentations is for the survey questions that we have conducted. And so in here, the questions is only answerable by the 2 options. It's either the yes and no answers. So the following questions are: first, if they agree if our event calendar is an online application. Second, if they agree if our event calendar is an offline application. Third questions is that if they agree the application helps for them. Fourth questions is that if they using this application, is there much of the changes. Fifth question is that if the application is easier for them or no more hassle if they use this. Sixth question is that if they agree that this application helps them to keep updated of the said event in the school. Seventh questions is that if they will be given a change, will they be going to download this application? So eighth question is that if they think that the mobile application can improve the experience of attending an event. So ninth questions if they think that they always updated to the school events is better than surprising. And for the last questions is that if they have experienced a non-attending of the school events. So the answer from the following survey questions is to be presented by our analysis here for the next pages. So in the first question, so out of the 60 respondents, 41 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 19. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer to the option A. So for the second analysis, the second question is that out of the 60 respondents, there is 42 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 18. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, again, they prefer for the options A. So for the third questions, out of the 60 respondents, 57 answered for options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is only 3. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the option A. So in the fourth question, out of the 60 respondents, 56 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 4. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the option A. So for the fifth questions, out of the 60 respondents, 52 answered for options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 8. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the option A. So for the sixth questions, out of the 60 respondents, 58 answered for options A, which is yes, and the options B, which is no, is 2. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the option A again. So for the seventh question, out of the 60 respondents, 49 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the options B, which is no. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they preferred to the options A. And so for the 8 questions out of the 60 respondents, 48 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 12. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the options A. In the 9 questions out of the 60 respondents, 53 answered for the options A, which is yes, and the option B, which is no, is 7. So it stated that out of the 60 respondents, they prefer for the option A. So in the 10 questions, out of 60 respondents, 51 answers for options A, which is yes, and the options B, which is 4. So stated that out of the 60 respondents, they again prefer for the options A. And so as a result, based on the data that we have gathered from the students of the Cebu Technological University Devantine campus, especially to the BSIT department, so during the event, half of the populations of the students did not notice whether the events in the school because sometimes it's the delaying of the distributing of the memos in that department. So therefore, we find out the results of our respondents agreed in our study. So because they experienced not only attending or they surprised sometimes on the specific event. So for our next page is the interpretation of their data. So the researcher provides a questionnaire starts
Today I'm going to discuss about the chapter 3, and under the chapter 3, the summary of the finding, conclusion, recommendation, ethical consideration, and the glossary. So the researcher provides a questionnaire to our prospective respondents where they will be able to evaluate our proposed system according to their opinion. So the questionnaire was composed of 10 questions that we base on what they have experienced during the event in our university. Summary of the findings. 1. Majority of the respondents that agreed that our mobile event calendar application system either offline and online. 2. Majority of the respondents agreed that applications helps to the students of the BSIT department only. Number 3. Majority of the respondents believe that this research study is there much have changes. 4. Majority of the respondents believe that this mobile event calendar applications less hassle for them. 5. Majority of the respondents believe that through this app, it can easily update of the said event of school. 6. Majority of the respondents, if there will be given a chance to download this app, they grab this opportunity. And 7. Majority of the respondents believe that this app is a big help to our co-students in CTU Devantine campus of the BSIT department only. And number 8. Majority of the respondents said that sometimes did not notice the event in school because late of distribution of the memo. Number 9. Majority of the respondents and that mostly not attending the school events. Conclusion. This study shows how the mobile event calendar application system is really important. We conclude that this application will only generate reminders for the user's event and easy to know of what are the upcoming events in schools. So this app can help to schedule events in advance to gain control over your work. As a general conclusion, the researcher conclude that this app will give many advantages of the students because we believe that they can notify already of the said event in school. So the researcher of the study would like to give information to those students of the BSIT department at CTU Damantayan campus in this. So this would help to reduce the problems in school. Recommendation. These researchers recommend this study to the students of the BSIT department of the Cebu Technological University Damantayan campus to give orientation and support to the hours of the students to minimize its scheduled work. The researcher of this study would like to enlighten the students of the BSIT department that this app will give more benefits by phenomenon. And the researcher would also like to inform those students who are not yet aware of the phenomenon. Ethical consideration. The study was designed and carried out in accordance with the ethical guidelines. So, under the ethical consideration, they have a risk benefits assessment. So, under the risk benefit assessments, they have benefits and the rest. So, benefits, the potential benefit that the student could give it, that it can provide insights on the participation of the BSIT students in Cebu Technological University and the respondents' perspective towards subjects of the study. And the rest is of the researchers would be that since the study talks about events calendar, the respondents must cooperate, but it cannot be avoided that all BSIT students wouldn't cooperate. So another possibility is that will answer a manner that is too ideal and no longer realistic, thus the data would be false. Next is content comprehension and documentation of informed consent. So under the content comprehension and documentation of the informed consent, so there are participant status, studies goals, types of data, and procedures, nature of document, sponsorship, participant selection, potential benefits, alternatives, compensation, confidential pledge, voluntary, right to withdraw and withdraw information, contact information. C. Debriefing, communication, and referrals. So, the researcher should always be polite and formal. They should show professionalism towards everyone, especially when dealing with the participants. And it is must that researchers identify themselves to the respondents and discuss to them what they need to know about the study. Conflict of the interest. So, in conducting the survey questionnaire, it will be the researchers who are going to administer the question. This way, the respondent will not be pressured, and the rights to withdraw and voluntary participate in the study will be preserved. The glossary, definition of terms. So, under the definition of terms, the laptops, mobile, calendar, application, online, event, mobile event, and system. So that's all about the chapter 3, and I am Roan Ofaga from the group.